Things are getting very steamy in the new Magic Mike movie, where the trailer showed lead actor Channing Tatum giving an intimate lap dance to new co-star Salma Hayek. Filming scenes like this can always be awkward, and the two stars had a lot to say about that particular moment and the movie in general. In this movie, we'll be talking about the leads reacting to the dancing and the work they put in the upcoming film. First up, what did Tatum have to say? The 21 Jump Street actor had no complaints about the sensual dance with his co-star because, after 2 movies of constant stripping, he's probably used to it by now. The star said that fans have seen him performing on stage but haven't seen him give an intimate, straight-up one-on-one lap dance. This was teased in the latest trailer in the first minute or so. The process to achieve the physique, on the other hand, was a real challenge, along with practicing moves in his garage. On The Ellen Show, Channing talked about how it's very difficult to maintain that body that Magic Mike demands. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Tatum discussed practicing dances with his choreographer in an open garage and found it discomforting and weird how people passing by would stop and stare. The actor also joked about how a child would stop and ask his parents why that person is on that man's face. Feel free to use your mind and imagine what that would look like. As for the film itself, the lead actor is calling it the Super Bowl of stripper movies and says that there's no need to make a movie of this genre after the 3rd installment because they're swinging for the fences with this one. Performer aside, what did the receiver of this awkward moment have to say about the scene? Coming up, Salma Hayek's take on the movie. Thandiwe Newton was initially cast as the mystery woman in the upcoming film, but due to personal family issues, she had to step down from the role. The Frida actress ended up being a perfect fit in the movie. Salma talked about how physically challenging the choreography was and that the viewers will have to see it to believe it. What you have to believe in all this is how complicated it all is. From the trailer alone, we couldn't keep track of what was going on and where. Hayek also confirms that she won't be the typical damsel in distress in the movie. That is, if the damsel was concerned by a bunch of dancing male strippers. She talked about it alongside Antonio Banderas on the premiere tour of the new Puss in Boots sequel. "I play a strong woman," said the actress, and described her average day at work as watching 12 semi-naked men dancing and doing pirouettes. She also has fun bossing them around and said that her animated co-star would put all of them to shame if he were to make a cameo. Salma praises Tatum's dancing skills and says they've gotten much better and that we haven't seen anything yet. With all this talk about the lap dance scene, we expected you to have seen the trailer. If you haven't, you can either pause this video and watch it right now, or we'll give you a quick rundown of everything that happened. Following up with what happens in the trailer, the clip begins with Mike Lane starting his new life anew in Miami as a bartender. His old crewmates are nowhere to be seen, and he's met with a socialite portrayed by Hayek. Now, this character is unnamed throughout the plot synopsis and credits of the film, so we really don't know what to call her. The two interact and talk about what they want in the city, which cuts to a scene of them in what appears to be the woman's home. Here's where the steamy scene takes place, and Selma's character defines it as a magical moment that reminded her who she really was. Okay, witnessing Channing Tatum do something like that would put things in perspective for a lot of people. You're not special. Mike goes to London with the woman and plans to perform at one of the biggest stages in the city. The rest of the trailer is a series of bits and pieces of the film showing the amount of dancing that'll be involved. Fans that have been following Steven Soderbergh's movies were pretty sad realizing that not a single member of the original team is in this trailer, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now for some of the fan reactions. One of the best parts of these movies was the ensemble of men who had wonderful chemistry with each other. Actors like Matt Bomer, Joe Manganiello, and Adam Rodriguez are nowhere to be seen, and each of these men brought something different to this franchise. Cast members aside, people have noticed how each movie of this trilogy feels different and doesn't stick to the same genre. Magic Mike's Last Dance feels more like an installment to the Step Up franchise instead of the one people are paying to see. We can all agree that there's a large majority of the audience who are just happy to watch their favorite male lead dance for 2 hours, but there's always that one group who thinks that everything is supposed to be a cinematic masterpiece. If we were to take their perspective for a second, they should keep their expectations very low. The previous 2 films have made around $100 million at the box office, and although that's considered to be a flop, the cast is satisfied with the budget they had to work with. The Magic Mike movies are there for your entertainment. You won't expect groundbreaking groundbreaking cinema with them. Just sit back and enjoy the show. As for the other group of viewers, they're in for a treat with a female lead for a change. Selma is known for her electrifying presence on stage and will be getting just that. Moving on to everything we know about the movie. 8 years after XXL, Magic Mike's Last Dance will be hitting theaters on the 10th of February later this year. The official plot details say that Mike winds up bartending in Florida after a failed business deal. The protagonist heads to London with a wealthy socialite who makes him an offer that he can't refuse with an agenda of her own. Things get even tenser when Mike finds himself leading a hot new roster of talented dancers into shape. Well, this is what official sources say, and no, we still don't have a name for Hayek's mystery character. Do you think it'll be revealed as a surprise, or is it just unimportant to the plot? We'd like to think of the former because it makes things exciting. It also wouldn't matter if the woman's name is never revealed as long as it doesn't affect the plot. Mystery characters and main leads aside, who else is part of The Last Dance? Let's talk about the cast of the third part. Discussing Tatum and Hayek again is probably a bad idea because we're positive that you're tired of hearing those names. Bear with us just a little longer because the video is almost done. Joining these two is Caitlin Gerard from American Crime, Ayub Khan Dean, and Gavin Spokes from House of the Dragon. There are other actors and actresses involved, but it's not confirmed if any of these have a major role or not. For all we know, Spokes could be a civilian witnessing that dance in the subway that we saw in the trailer. Soderbergh is set to direct, and it's interesting to see him returning for the film when Gregory Jacobs directed Magic Mike XXL. Steven is known for his Ocean's 11 film and their sequels, while Jacobs usually collaborates with other filmmakers when working on his movies. Reed Carolyn and Tatum are both producers of the upcoming threequel, and these two work together on almost everything. They previously teamed up for Dog, which was Channing's last movie before The Lost City. Speaking of the actor's older movies, let's take a look at what's next in store for him. Coming up with his future projects. After starring alongside Sandra Bullock in The Lost City and a German Shepherd in Dog, the 42-year-old is set to appear in Red Shirt, where he'll be given a very heavy paycheck. How much is he getting? Oh, just a small sum of $25 million. Yes, you heard that right. Tatum will be getting a large portion of the money Amazon is giving for acting and producing the upcoming James Bond-esque action comedy spy film. He'll also be starring in Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut called P Island. The movie isn't actually called P Island, it's just a word that we're not sure whether to use or not. The plot is almost the same as Magic Mike's Last Dance, but with the roles of the socialite and Mike reversed. Here, Tatum plays a tech mogul who brings a waitress to an island where nothing is as it seems. We've also seen that the actor has no problem with squeezing in random cameos in blockbusters. He appeared in an uncredited passenger in Bullet Train and as Revenge Him in Buttons in Free Guy. We wouldn't be surprised to see his bald head in a blockbuster soon because the guy sure loves being in front of the camera. Lastly, is this the last Magic Mike movie? The addition of Salma Hayek in the threequel could serve as her passing the torch in the stripping franchise. We wouldn't be surprised if Soderbergh comes up with a bunch of other movies surrounding the plot, but it would defeat the purpose of why Magic Mike existed at first. The story is loosely based on Tatum's experience as a stripper when he moved to Tampa, Florida, so Mike's Last Dance should be the final time we see him on the big screen. The 22 Jump Street actor is excited for the audience to see what they've been working on. As he described it, the dance sequences start strong and the end may pay homage to the famous water dance that was seen live on stage. This might be the last time we'll be seeing Mike Lane and his adventures, and there'll be more movies where Channing and Selma show off their dance moves in the future. These actors just can't say no to a film with a solid dance scene. And that's a wrap for this video. Would you want Mike's Last Dance to be his last, or do you want to see more of this steamy franchise? Let us know in the comments below. As always, leave a like and hit that subscribe button to see more of our content, and we'll see you in the next one.